I feel like we are back in 2020 once again. Now, what I've done here, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure that everything is within the parameters of YouTube, is I've condensed all this down, and it's very important that we discuss this because many of you who have been on the channel for a while completely understand the situation of framing and the direction that the media is going in when it comes to sensitive issues pertaining to certain groups of individuals. So I will be changing a lot of the language in this too. So as you guys know, we've not covered this type of topic in a while. But of course, what is all going on in Iran has now triggered some of these events, including even the awakening of certain cells. But what is fascinating here is while the media is making its typical undermining of Donald Trump, they are also framing things in a way to also support their particular narratives. As we see here from the New York Post, Mandani refuses to condemn radical events inspired a bomb as disturbing new details emerge. So Mayor Zohran Mandani on Monday repeatedly refused to condemn the pair of alleged individuals in New York were charged with bringing IEDs near Gracie Mansion during an anti-Muslim protest. They are suspected of coming here to commit an act of activity, Hesnor said during a press conference outside Gracie Mansion, flanked by NYPD Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch. There's video of the two individuals throwing two devices towards the protest, right? The police department has determined that these were improvised devices made to injure, maim, or worse. Now, what they've done here is when this was first starting to happen, the impression that the media wanted everyone to have was that this may have been a situation towards the mayor. And in reality, it was not. It was due to groups of individuals protesting outside the mayor's house. That is, those who are against Mamdani and those, of course, who are pro-Mamdani along with pro-immigration. So those are the individuals that were out there that were protesting. These are the two individuals here. And so the framing up until this late evening, or now Tuesday morning, was that, that there might have been some danger or some provocative action towards Mamdani. But in reality, it was not. It had to do with individuals that were there counter-protesting, I guess you could say counter-protesting Mamdani there in New York. So we have here men who brought explosives to New York City protest cited a particular group as their inspiration, complaint says. Now, what's interesting here is that Mamdani came out and started speaking, and you could just look at Tish's face, the commissioner of New York. She was just like, didn't know what to do with her face because Mamdani was just going off on the fact that he was saying he and his wife were accustomed to this type of activity and this sorts of mindset towards him and his family, and they've become accustomed to it, and she just completely didn't know what to do. I don't know whether we can see that here.
I can confirm this morning that this...
Okay, that's just her speaking, but there was a video of her where you could just see her just visually just cringing from what Mamdani was saying. And things, of course, have changed since then because now we're seeing that Mamdani is now denouncing the activity. But here we see teens charged in the inspired attack near Mamdani's Gracie Mansion. You can see here from Tish herself.
Suspects here, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, are going to be prosecuted in federal court here in Manhattan, and a complaint will set forth criminal charges and the factual allegations supporting those charges. After that complaint is made public, which I expect to occur later today, I will be able to say much more about the investigation and what we have learned in this case. But it is crucial that we respect that process and not get ahead of it. That being said, I can confirm this morning that this is being investigated as an act of ISIS-inspired terrorism.
Okay, so she said it, not me. We'll see how YouTube handles that. But it is just fascinating to me. See, items thrown near New York City mayor's residence investigated as a disturbance, right? So, again, and I saw this across the board with many of the different agencies here, the different news outlets were going with this same theme. And then, of course, this was changing almost by the hour to what it really, really was. And as you see here, and I find this amazing to me. This really is an all-time photo, or is an all-time photo. a protester shouting about the pros of immigration is interrupted by these two individuals who throw a device while the guy is standing there. It's just so iconic to think that this is going on, because this is the mindset, the two divisions in our country right now, to an extent. Now, it's difficult to say where a lot of people are playing along these lines, but as we can see, as I mentioned earlier, and this was from back on the 8th, so you can see what NBC was breaking here. A device ignited outside Mayor Mandani's mayoral residence yesterday during an event protest and counter-protest was confirmed to be an improvised device. I apologize for the way I'm speaking, guys. I'm trying to just avoid certain terminologies and phrasing here because I just don't want to deal with the algorithm with YouTube. It's just so annoying. But I know many of you who have been here on the channel for quite some time understand this narrative driving. And this is just one of those situations where we're seeing activity happening, perhaps as a result of what's going on in Iran. And, of course, we know what the media has been stuck to on that particular issue. And so that's another discussion altogether. But I'm interested to know what you think down in the comment section. How much of this reminds you of 2020 and the framing that the media was doing? Not that the media has changed much from their framing, but how you can easily see the narrative driving that's going on with what they're doing, trying to give people the impression that this is somehow directed towards Mamdani. Because, of course, as you know, there's been a lot of controversy around him since the snowstorms and just in general with him raising taxes and just making a big mess of everything. So let me know down in the comment sections. Are you from New York? Do you have family in New York? How does this, what are your thoughts on this particular situation? Are we seeing almost kind of a reflection of back in the 2020s and even in the early 2000s where this was happening? And I mention this because, of course, as a content creator, there were things that we couldn't even talk about. I mean, remember COVID? We couldn't even say the word COVID back then, or even mention or talk about any of the aspects of COVID or what was going on or what doctors were saying. And so we're almost back in this very similar situation, and we're experiencing this again as content creators. We're not really sure what all is going on with that. So your guys' continued support, especially on YouTube, has been great, because this is exactly what the channel needed, and that was just that there's just a bizarreness going on right now across YouTube for content creators, especially in the media again, are covering these particular topics. I won't go into all the details of how I know that right now, but I just wanted to bring this, guys, to you because this has just been extraordinary to sit here and watch this. And I did condense all this down. I wanted to make sure I didn't show a video that was going to be problematic for individuals watching or for YouTube, but I'm sure you guys have probably seen a lot of the videos, especially this one in particular, where the individual's out there actually on his microphone with a megaphone. He's got a megaphone right here on his left arm, and that he was using there to protest with, and I found that interesting. But nonetheless, guys, it's just an extraordinary story to see the narrative driving that's happening with this story. And I don't know if it's kind of a distraction for them from other things that are going on, but the last 3 weeks have been a terrible, terrible last 3 weeks for Democrats. I mean, with the State of the Union, with Donald Trump putting them in their place, then two different SCOTUS rulings that were in Trump's total favor. The dancing Iranians in the street have been extraordinary around the world, and it's just been a terrible, terrible, terrible week for last 3 weeks for Democrats. But that's just the way it goes. But it's just so reminiscent of what happened several years ago here in our country with the media under the Biden administration. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. I saw you guys on BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for the support there. And, of course, everyone here on YouTube. Below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to include X. So you guys can stop by there and follow me there, or on Instagram or other platforms that I have there. And, of course, my 2 affiliate marketing links down there. Great affiliates that I like. You know, of course, Amazon and then TrustZone. You guys know how those work. But your likes, your shares, and your comments have been amazing. Thank you so very much. Appearing there on the screen, that's going to be the channel icon. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as select notifications. That way you'll know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.